formed in the same way as the other planets. So how did they end up rotating the opposite way? Scientists have posted more than a few theories. One of them is crashing. Something crashed into it. Some believe these two planets suffered significant collisions, very close to planetary birth. As soon as the planet got born, the doctor smacked it, got it going the other way. Something incredibly large, like a planet, hit it, which either caused the initial spinning or reversed it. Or orbital resistance. Let's see. Others believe it has to do with the process called orbital resistance. This is when the orbital period of one planet is a multitude of another planet's orbital period, how long it takes to orbit the sun. For example, Pluto has an orbital period of 248 years. It takes Pluto 248 years to go around the sun. Neptune is 6,190 years. Whoa, long, it's not in a hurry. That means for every 2 orbits of Pluto, Neptune completes 3. The last theory has to do with the sun's magnetic field. I just copied this straight out of the book, okay? As the planet grows, it's thought to be surrounded by a disk of dust and gas. As the planet grows, it starts to spin faster and faster. No, guys, as the planet grows, it would spin slower and slower. Eventually, the sun's magnetic field interacts with the disk and caused it to slow down and reverse the direction. Oh, the magnetic field reversed it. Those are your theories. You really expect me to believe that? Why don't you give a third option, guys? The only way you can solve this is something hit these planets to reverse them, or there's orbital resistance. There's a third option. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth, and he did it that way on purpose just to make your Big Bang Theory look stupid. Did a good job, God. Good job. It looked stupid. I've been doing this for 35 years, Joseph. I love it. Making fun of evolution. I got the easiest job in the world. Evolution is the dumbest and most dangerous religion in the world. Prove me wrong. Open mic. Call in tonight. Come on. We're on a bunch of channels. Let's see. We're on Facebook, 255,000 there now. On Rumble, still growing. On X, on our own app, KentHovind.tv. Let's see. On Instagram, on TikTok. Call in. Join us, okay? We are straight north Pensacola, 70 miles, still trying to raise funds to do our blacktop around the Noah's Ark grand opening in 2 weeks, okay? 2 months, 2 months, yeah. Trying to raise funds, $133,000, only bid we got. Nobody else wants to try to beat that, I guess, okay? Let's see, good evening. Okay, let's see, that wasn't me. Don't have any debt here at all, so if you want to help, please do. Let's see, I'll show you in just a second here, Joseph. Join our 777 club, say, look, Brother Hovind, I want to help support you. Give $1 a day, $30 a month. Take us on as your missionary. Go to drdino.com, call the office, Bobby. Joy, do you do any of those too? The people call about becoming a donor? You and Bobby both do that. Okay. So almost 10 years now we've been open. Here we are, the 19th of February. Coming up in 2 months, the anniversary of 10-year anniversary of us getting this property. We're going to have the Ark done. They passed a law at midnight a couple nights ago that nobody's supposed to know about. Put this link down. Do you have that link, Joseph? Okay. Everybody save that link, get that video, save it. This is a major step toward the mark of the beast. He causeth all, small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark. Congress passed it. It's a very well done, excellent, explaining what this new law is going to do and how you're going to see it change you in the very near future. But anyway, watch that video. They passed it. The Digital Currency Act takes effect this weekend. Nobody knows about it yet. Not supposed to. Okay. There's been the George Janko show about a month ago. Had 409,000 views in a month. Get me on any more I like doing podcasts. Please, anybody got a podcast? Let me come on as a guest. I do all kinds of them. Been a bunch of, I don't know how many altogether. With you guys, Joseph? Hundreds. Yeah, hundreds. Okay. Look at this. Scientists in Australia recently stumbled upon a discovery that feels almost magical. A brand new marsupial species. Smaller than a rabbit, but with features that defy current classification. Its fur shimmers faintly in the dappled light, and its movements are so precise that it seems to float rather than walk. What makes it remarkable are the traits, a blend of characteristics seen in multiple unrelated species. The eyes suggest exceptional nocturnal vision. The limbs hint at climbing abilities that would make a squirrel envious. This tiny creature could challenge long-held assumptions about evolution. I just Googled changing the evolution theory. Do we need a new theory of evolution? Let's see. Do we need a new theory of evolution? Evolution News. Ancient fossil could rewrite the story of human origins. Rewriting human evolution. Evolution rewritten again and again. Science Daily. There it is. Rewriting human evolution. Rewriting human evolution. Evolutionissues.com. National Pornographic. Do new discoveries ever rewrite evolution theory? New technology helps scientists rewrite evolution theory. They've been rewriting this thing for 150 years now, almost 200 years. I got a theory that will never need to be rewritten. Are you ready? In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Never needs to be rewritten. God did it. Don't need to rewrite the theory at all. About 6,000 years ago, God made everything. 4,400 years ago, there was a flood. The flood explains the fossils, explains the canyons, the layers, all formed in 1 year. There is no geologic column. Call in. Defend your religion if you believe it. Okay? Jesus came 2,000 years ago to save us, died on the cross. His blood will pay for your sins. Here we are today, waiting for the Lord to come back. Got tough times coming here soon, though. See, Adam was 130 when his son was born. The dates are given in the Bible. 130, 105, plus 90, plus 70. Just add them up. It comes to about 4,000 BC, 6,000 years ago. That theory never needs to be rewritten. You guys keep rewriting your evolution theory. By the way, if you got some evidence for it, call in. Clint's Reptile did another one on me a couple weeks ago. Somebody sent me the link. Did I debate him live or? No, I think he just live. I whacked him a couple times. I'll debate you live anytime, Clint. Okay, look at me. Look at me, Clint. Evolution is the dumbest and most dangerous religion in the world. Call in. Prove me wrong. Where is the evidence? In there, I talk about how cows always produce cows, that every farmer will tell you that cows produce cows. And he said, well, yeah, but that's over short term, you know, you got to have billions of years. That's why it's a religion. You can't see it. It's not observable science. It's something you believe in. You can believe it all you want. You and SpongeBob get together, start a YouTube channel. SpongeBob and Clint's Reptiles. Just imagine. You're on the ball over there, Joseph. Okay. Evolution is nothing but imagination. Okay, questions or comments? Send them in there, Joseph. Start off with, okay. Stephen, how about the red dwarf star theory of Saturn that dwindled down to a giant gas? See, you can make up all the theories you want. The fact is, we see Saturn up there. We see Saturn having rings. How it got there, make any stories up you want, but don't call it science. Science is what we can observe, study, test, and demonstrate. We don't observe a red dwarf forming into a planet. If you wish to believe that, that's fine. I don't care what people believe. But they keep sneaking it into the science books like it's part of science. That's my objection. Science, look at the definition of science. What we can observe, study, test, demonstrate. You can't observe or test or demonstrate that at all. So I don't believe it. But okay, go ahead. Let's see. Dr. Ken, I'm a Bible guy. I'm all for you. I'm all in for God. I've read the book of the book of Jasher. Yeah, I've got it right here on the table. I mean, on the shelf over there, Jasher and Enoch, all three books of Enoch. Interesting reading. Maybe even some good historical stuff in there, but it's not scripture. Okay, it's got lots of contradictions, internal and external, with the Bible. So I've read thousands of books. I'm not against reading. Just don't call it scripture. Okay. Let's see. Can't hold an official. Did I write one? Oh.
I copied it from TikTok.
Oh, okay. Same question. Same question. Okay. Ken, what about the school of Tyrannus that Paul was talking about? I don't know anything about it. I've read it. Bible. He mentions it. I don't know what it is. Somebody else can solve that problem.
Okay, we got a couple people in the studio.
Okay, headphones. Yep, headphones. All right, who we got there, Joseph?
Hey, Ken, it's me again. How you doing, Tony?
Tony, yes, sir, Tony. Go ahead.
Yeah, I sent you a bunch of good stuff on abiogenesis. I know the problem is only getting worse. They still can't solve the chirality problem. They can amplify it in the lab with a bunch of controlled machinery and purification processes that would never be available on early Earth. I focus a lot on original life, but it's a big hurdle.
Nice. I've been reading this stuff. You sent me. Great job. Thank you. Keep it up.
All right, Kent. God bless. Take care.
Yep. Hang on. Do you have your own YouTube channel? People can see your stuff at?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to get back going, but I want you to do videos too. You got a bigger reach than me, so I'm going to come up there and see. I'm down in Florida.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come on
We'll
up.
do a video
All right,
live
thank you,
together.
brother.
Thanks, Gabe.
Sounds great. Thank you, brother. Okay. Who else we got there, Joe? Yes. Hello. What's the name here?
Hey, Chris. My name's Chris.
Hi, Chris. Yes, sir. How can I help, Chris?
I had something I wanted to talk to you about. So it's about the geologic column.
Sure.
I am a creationist, and I do agree with you on the geologic column. My only concern is I feel like there's a disconnect when you and the evolutionist are talking about the geologic column, and I think where the disconnect is. I know you like to use the card illustration, like when you say when you shuffle a deck of cards, is the top card younger?
Right.
So if you have a pile of cards here and here, and you always say moving the dirt from here to here doesn't change the age, right?
Right. Right.
Okay. But what they're saying is they're saying that this card gets moved to here, and then a million years later, or whatever the time frame is, another one gets moved, and then a million years later, another one gets moved, and then another gets moved. They're saying they agree with you that all these cards are the same age and that all the dirt is the same age, even though it got moved. They're just saying this one got moved 3 million years ago, this one got moved 2 million years ago, and this one got moved 1 million years ago, which I don't agree with. I don't think that was the case, but I'm just saying, I think what you're doing is you're thinking that they're talking about the material of the dirt, and they're not talking. They agree with you that the dirt is the same age, whether it's 6,000 or 6 trillion or whatever it is. They agree with you that it's all the same age. They're just saying that when it moves from here to here and then here to here again and then here to here again, they're at separate times. They're not talking about the age of it. Do you understand?
I understand completely. Here's the problem. The dirt is all the same age. Every speck of dirt on this planet is the same age.
They agree.
They're claiming that, right, they're claiming that they're dating the event of it moving. Stop and think about that. How on earth can they do that? And why are there no erosion marks between the layers? And how do they explain polystrata trees? There are trees standing up connecting all of them.
No, I agree with you.
Just that proves it's not, they're not even dating the event.
Well, no, I agree that I think the flood probably caused it, but I'm just saying that that it always seemed like you were asking them, how does moving it from here to here change the age of the dirt? They're not saying that moving it from here to here changes the age of the dirt. They're talking about the event of it getting laid.
Well, now hold it now. When they try to defend their geologic column, they will say we can radioactively date the dirt or the rock.
Yeah.
So they are dating the rock. that's their fallback. You know, we use potassium argon.
When they claim that they radiometric date it, are they talking about the material, the dirt?
They have to be. How can you radioactively date an event?
Okay, so they're are they talking about the fossils or the dirt?
Either one. It's the same problem. See, they date the fossils by the dirt and the dirt by the fossils. Circular reasoning. I covered that many times. I got my pictures here of polystrata fossils. If you show them one, ask them, how did this tree stand there for millions of years and all the layers form around it? I don't think they see the hypocrisy. They're claiming, they'll say, oh yeah, the dirt's all the same age, but we're dating the event. Well, how do you use radioactive decay to date an event? All you can date with that is material.
Yeah, I don't see how you could date the event. I think when they were talking about that, they probably are talking about material. But I just wanted you to be aware. I just wanted you to be aware that they do agree with you. It seems like that all the dirt is the same age, whether God did it or a Big Bang without God. They agree with that.
Well, and the polystrata fossil is another one that it's impossible to explain that. One guy I forget who was that said that it's a type of grass or something is why. It's not it's like a reed in the ocean, along the sea. It doesn't matter what it is. It's going through the layers.
So I got
doesn't matter what it is.
I got one more question. what historical records do we have, and where can we find them that are outside the Bible, and how far back does it go in the biblical days?
Okay, on my video number 1, seminar part 1, I talk about the age of the earth. In there, I show all the oldest historical records that we know of only go back about 4,000 or 5,000 years. Now, that's it. So that I think is telling. Matter of fact, let me call that up here. Seminar part 1. I already closed it down. 1, here we go. Okay, it'll take just a second. But I go through all that. The oldest written records, the oldest record of capital punishment, for instance. Let's see. Oldest written language, oldest calendars, oldest, what was the topic again? Oldest
Historical records. Yeah.
The oldest calendar. Major systems of writings. The oldest, let's see, from the Mayan Indians, Mesopotamia, Indus Valley, 2800 to 1900 BC. That's the oldest written records. Let's see, 3000 BC, cuneiform. Okay.
Can we find all this online too?
Oh, yeah. This is from Encyclopedia Britannica. Let's see. A Sumerian language, 3000 BCE. That would be only 5,000 years ago. That's the oldest written language. Here's whatever this is from Netherlands. Sumerian Egyptians seem to have the earliest writing systems. Again, about 3000 BC. Let's see. Oracle bone script, 1200 BC. I don't like the BCE. I'm never going to use that. It's before Christ. We'll leave Christ in there, not before the Common Era. Let's see. Luwian hieroglyphics. The oldest known text, 1400 BC. I don't know where Luwian is, but okay. Yeah, this is all online. You can find all this stuff easily. 1500 BC, 1700 BC, Hittite cuneiform, 1800 BC. Also, all this is on my video number 1. If you want to get that and look at the references, and you can buy the tape, copy it, send it back the original, and get your money back. The creator to earliest known text, 2100 BC. Elamite cuneiform, 2200 BC. Akkadian cuneiform, 2500 BC. Egyptian hieroglyphics, 3200. Regular cuneiform, 3200, 3000. So yeah, the oldest written records are way less than 10,000 years old. And so, of course, there's just so much. I think it's if somebody wishes to believe man was before that was too stupid to write anything down, they can believe whatever they want. But a lot of times they use pictograph. Let's see, the tomb, some guy's tomb, 3400 to 3200 BC. The Bible indicates the world was destroyed by a flood, created 6,000 years ago and destroyed by a flood. Some records, especially on cuneiform and pottery, they survived the flood just fine.
Yeah.
What's a flood going to do to pottery? Get it wet.
If there's any evolutionists listening tonight, I would like them to call in and explain, did the first cow come from something that was not a cow, and was the law of monophyly broken? Slowly.
Well, yeah, they've got the chart. I've got it right here. The cow slowly, over billions and trillions and quadrillions and quintillions of generations, came from an amoeba.
Yeah.
Somehow, the amoeba turned to a cow.
Yeah.
This chart is nothing but imagination and lines on paper. It's not science. But that's what all the kids are being taught now.
Well, that's what you got to start asking them. Is you got to say, okay, let me ask you this: when you back them, when you back them in the corner, you got to ask them, did the first cow come from something that was not a cow? They have to say yes.
They have to say yes, but it was almost a cow, and there's not a hard, fast line in there. That's what they're going to say. There's not a line at all. Everybody, now farmers get bigger cows and littler cows, and cows with more milk and more beef, and stand the heat better, stand the cold better. But there's 450 breeds of cows now that farmers have developed. They're all recognizable as cow, and most of them are still infertile.
Yeah, and then
the 350 kinds of dogs, same thing.
And then the question, whenever you say, okay, was the law of monophyly broken slowly? Then they'll usually say, well, we're all eukaryotic. Well, then my next question is, did eukaryotes come from prokaryotes? And if so, was the law of monophyly broken then?
Had to be.
The
first place, what is this law of monophyly? Who on earth said that's a law?
I don't know, but
Like the law-
I kind of wish they would explain that, because I don't think I've ever heard you ask them that question. Did a eukaryote come from a prokaryote?
Yeah, I should ask him. Okay. And did that come from something non-living?
Yeah, yeah.
How do you get from materials, elements, chemicals, to life? James Tour is doing great work on that. It's just not possible. They're nowhere close. One atheist said, Hovind, if they ever make life in the lab, what are you going to say? I'm going to say that proved it took intelligence to make life. Duh.
Yeah. Yeah, I got you.
Okay. Well, thank you, Christopher. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
All right. All right. More questions there, Joseph. Let's see. Stephen. Nope. Got that one. Let's see. Creation Crybaby. Common descent predicts a nested hierarchy pattern or groups within groups. So does the Bible. They always bring forth after their kind. There's a lot of different groups. I call them the same kind. There's 20 different kinds, I believe, of squirrels. 20 different varieties, all still a squirrel. Okay. We see such an arrangement in a unique, consistent, well-defined hierarchy, the so-called tree of life. You can believe that all you want, but it's not science. They drew a bunch of lines on paper. So is it your position, Crybaby, that looking at the much bigger picture, the elephant is related to the frog? They've got a line on paper connecting the elephant and the frog. Look at that. What was this ancestor? What did it look like? Let's see. Elephog? What would you call it? I don't know. This is not science. This is a propaganda poster. That's all it is. Even if later it's proven to be true. At this stage in history, there's no evidence for any of these lines on paper. It's a religion. So at this point, it's not science. Nobody's ever seen an elephant produce a non-elephant, or even anything close. It's all imagination. And I don't mind you guys believing it. I just mind you thinking it's science and making everybody pay to have it taught to the kids. That I mind. Okay, other questions? Let's see. Bob, do they have any defiant way to actually age fossils or dirt, or just a guess? Well, the best way is observation. Who observed it happening? Like Mount St. Helens, when that blew, they watched the mud flow down in the valley, blocked off the Toutle River, and when the Toutle River built a big lake up behind it, finally went over the dam and washed out a brand new canyon, they noticed all this mud that washed in there was now stratified into hundreds of layers. Yes, sir. Oh, headphones off. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. So we didn't observe the Noah's flood. I didn't anyway. And so, but we have the same effect. And when you see the polystrata fossils going up between all the layers, it had to be less than a year. The tree is going to fall over and rot. Well, rot and then fall over. Maybe you could do it either way. We don't care. All right. Dan, would you agree that limiting the power of God and the application of the gap theory would cause an issue with salvation? People try to limit the power of God in many different ways. There's no gap between verse 1 and verse 2. It's all one continuous story. I get a booklet on that, the gap theory. We got that finally in print, don't we? No, in digital download, my book, The Gap Theory, on that. Yeah, people always try to limit God. And, that's why the atheists, where did God come from? Just that question puts a limit. Like God has to come from somewhere? What if he's already every place? Doesn't have to come from anywhere. Yeah. Okay. Would you speak to the moon's evidence against evolution? It's my understanding the moon's surface has a small amount of surface dust. That said, just a couple inches. Well, it's true. If I touch that moon that's spinning, it takes 3 days and 4 boys to put it back up. Here, this one is not spinning. Okay. It's true that the crater pattern on the side of the moon facing us is much bigger craters. The crater pattern, when they finally sailed around it, there's much different crater pattern on the far side of the moon. You can Google that. I think, Hovind theory, when the fountains of the deep broke open at the time of the flood, the earth cracked up like an eggshell. We still have the crack marks today called fault lines. The water went shooting out because the earth was built on the water. We covered that in video number 2. That water would race out of there under 60 tons of pressure per square inch. That's 10 miles of rock. It would rip rocks off the side of the crack and launch them out, maybe even up into orbit, or at least far enough to hit the moon. The near side would get shot more like a shotgun. The fragments that fly past would be drawn back by moon's gravity, which is pretty weak, and make a smaller hole. So maybe the crater pattern has to do with Noah's flood, believe it or not. So you're right. The dust on the Earth, let's see, that's in here. The dust on the moon. Let's see, the spin of the Earth, the receding moon, the moon is leaving us. They did, before NASA went up there to land on it, and I think they did go and they did land on it, okay. They did studies, how much dust should there be on the moon? We know how much dust comes into the Earth every day, pretty close. We know the moon has less gravity, blah, blah, blah. They tried to put all that together. The space dust would accumulate. I think they said an inch. It's been too long since I did that one. Whatever it was, an inch every 1,000 years or some number like that. And when they landed on it, they put the huge landing pads to land on it, and it turned out only be 3/4 inch thick, I think, which fits the Bible pattern just fine. So I don't remember the details on that, but that's the principle. Okay, thank you. Let's see, Kyle. In the millennial kingdom, do you think it will take the place of the principalities that govern the land now? Yeah, I'm going to be governor of Lenox, Alabama. Get to rule and reign with him, it says. Was there anything happening before Genesis 1? No, just the word before involves time. God created time, space, matter. He's outside of all three of them. So no, there is in the beginning. How do you go before that? Yep.
I just thought something. I was wondering, have you ever studied out when Pastor Meister was preaching about when the water flowed out of the rock in the wilderness toward the Israelites?
Right.
Yeah, I just wondered if you studied out because I've seen those photographs that I'm like to.
Right.
And did it come from like a spring? Something I want to look into, but did it come from a spring or did it come out of the rock supernatural?
When God said to Moses, smite the rock, on my video number 7, I have, let's see, the Red Sea crossing. I got so many slides here. If you watch seminar part 7, yes, it appears like that huge 5-story tall rock, 50 foot high, split down the middle, and water went pouring out of both sides. There's a very interesting verse. It says, the rock that followed them. I don't know if the rock was following them or the river followed them. How do you provide water for 2 million people in the desert? It had to be a steady stream, okay?
And there was erosion marks on that.
Right. Yeah, it took me a while to find it, but I do have the slides on that. Okay? Okay, other questions? Fig tree generation is the 78-year dose. That means we're in the middle of the trib or 2 years out. I wish I knew. I suspect the tribulation has started. I suspect they've made a secret treaty to rebuild the temple. I can't prove that, but I think we've got 4, 5, 6, 7 years left. That video I referenced at the beginning about this goes straight to the mark of the beast. It's going to eliminate currency eventually. Watch that video I referenced before they take it down. Okay? So I don't know an answer to that question. Josiah, question, in your personal opinion, who is the bride of Christ? I think it's all the believers together. The church and the body. Thank you. I don't know of any way to explain that other than the Bible does teach we become the bride of Christ. All the church together. Maybe everybody gets to be a different, part of the body. I think I know somebody who's going to be the heel, that's for sure. Oh, there we go. Pluto.
Hey, Ken.
You never look happy when you come on here. What's the problem?
Oh, I'm very happy.
Yeah, you look it. Okay, go ahead.
So, in answer to Christopher's question about the cows actually come from aurochs. So, and no, the law of monophyly was not broken. There's still bovine.
Right. Auroch is just basically like a large cow with huge horns, and it still would be in the cow kind. Where did that come from? Where'd the auroch come from?
Well, it would have come from a ancestor that was also in the clade of Bovinidae, but I'm not an expert on cow evolution. But no, he asked specifically about cows, and right. There are no aurochs anymore. So at one point, an auroch gave birth to something that over generations, populations. of aurochs.
Or maybe farmers did that. Maybe they domesticated some of the aurochs. I don't
A
know.
lot
But
of animals have been domestic.
Right.
Yes.
Did the auroch right here? Did the auroch come from an amoeba or a protozoa?
What is that down there at the bottom?
It says origin of life. Some charts have protozoa, some have amoeba, some have bacteria. Either way,
Hey, look at
a
that.
one-cell
It's not a
creature.
rock. There's no rock down there.
That's before that. Okay, the rock got rained on, turned to turned to life. Okay.
So we already went over that.
Let's just take you back. Well, let's just go back as far as the bacteria. Did the auroch or the cow come from a bacteria over trillions of generations?
No, bacteria are not even eukaryote.
Did you come from a bacteria?
No, bacteria are not eukaryotes.
Okay, did you come from an amoeba?
Amoeba, no, we are not in the clade of amoeba. The only thing we have in common with the amoeba is that we are both eukaryotes. We're eukaryotes.
Explain what you mean by that. It sounds real fancy to the people listening. You're saying because the cell membrane has the nucleus has a membrane around it. It's a structure used to build cells. Eukaryote, is that correct?
Eukaryote has a nucleus and has surrounded by a membrane.
Okay. So when they say we're all eukaryotes, that just means each of our cells has the nucleus wrapped up in a membrane. And that proves we're related? How does that prove we're related? That's a good design.
Well, if you look in the constrained areas of the genome, and at one time, scientists were suggesting that maybe life had developed, separately several times, and that maybe perhaps eukaryotes and prokaryotes had developed separate, which is perfectly fine. But when the technology caught up and we could look at the constrained area of the genome, many were surprised that no, we all share a common ancestor.
Well, I think you'll find that a lot of cars on the highway have engines in the front. A few have engines in the back. I've owned several of the Volkswagens. Does that mean anything?
No, cars are made in factories. We know exactly how they're made, and
Could it be that? Yeah.
And they don't give birth to
bacteria?
other cars. There's no
Right.
genes. There's
That
no
makes it
genetics passed.
That makes it even more complicated. The ability to give birth, to pass on those genes. Gee whiz, that's an incredible process. So, because
by the
bacteria,
way, for Christopher, he also asked about the monophyly and so forth. The law of monophyly does not pertain to prokaryotes. It's only eukaryotes, by the way.
oh, and who made that law?
No, a law is something that is observed, Ken. Nobody just creates something. It's something in nature that we observe time and time again, and it's never been contradicted.
So when have we observed a single-celled creature, be it prokaryote or eukaryote, turn to anything else? When have we observed it turn to a cow?
With chlamydomonas, we talked about this before. It's a algae that went from single cell to multi-cell. So, it didn't take rearranging the genes or doing any gene splicing. It was only with the introduction of a predator. And
right. And that's enough to get you to believe that you're related to a potato, huh?
No, that's enough to get me to believe that single cell can evolve into multi-cell, that we have not only a theory about it, we have seen it in real time. So it has been, it takes all the things that you require. It can be observed, it can be studied, it can be demonstrated. So it passes your criteria for science.
All right, well, let's assume that is all true, okay? Is that one example enough? It would take quadrillions of changes to change from a single-celled prokaryote, eukaryote, either one, to a whale. But you believe all the students should be required to learn that this is actually part of science. Boys and girls, this should be in a science textbook, that the whale and the duck have a common ancestor. Do you believe that should be required learning in a science class because of this example of cells cooperating together to make what you claim is a multicellular creature?
Well, you don't take one example and say, okay,
That's the
look,
only one you ever give.
here is one example of a single cell going to multi-cell. Therefore, that is what, it's a ton of evidence and data that goes into that.
That's the one you always give. Give me a ton more. You always give that one example. Give me 500 more where we've seen this happen. We've observed something change. They have a line between a butterfly and a kangaroo. Do you believe we should teach kids that butterflies are related to kangaroos in public school at taxpayer expense? They cut down a tree to make the page to print this on.
And the way we look at that is mostly through genetics. And so you'll look at the genetics, you'll find markers, and you go in the non-constrained areas for more recent ancestry, and then you go into the constrained areas then these are parts of the genome that if you change it even a little bit, it usually has a negative effect. So those any mutations in the constrained area are weeded out. They are very, very, very fast. And there's examples of this. There's studies. Anybody can look them up.
So I asked, do you have a ton of examples for changes like this? You really think, my question remains, do you think it should be required learning at taxpayer expense to teach kids that kangaroos are related to butterflies?
Yes, because it is something that is supported by genetics mostly. It's supported. We see that in the very bottommost layers, you see only single cell organisms. And then as you go up in the layers, you find more and more complex organisms. And insects are animals as well, so they both belong to the king of Animalia. They're both in that kingdom together, that clade.
Uh-huh. Okay, well, if the oldest layer has the simplest creatures, the trilobite is down here in the Cambrian. The trilobite is more complex than a space shuttle. The trilobite eyes, they have 10,000 lenses on each eye, each one a separate lens sending a signal with a nerve to the brain. 10,000. This is right here from the public school textbook. The trilobite is the bottom. They're not simpler. There is no such thing as a simple life form.
There are precursors to the trilobites as well. I mean, they're not just the first thing to appear. And you also have plankton. You got plankton that appears in different layers, and you got different species of plankton. And they cannot be explained by your model of intelligence and environment and mobility and all these things you put forward. That doesn't explain how different plankton species are advancing through the layers as well.
Obviously, you're watching my videos. Thank you, Pluto. We'll get you converted before it's over with.
We get together like on different channels, like Kurisum Yamato. He has, and we laugh, and it's really a lot of fun. So yeah.
But listen, they never call me for a debate where I'm there to defend myself. Tell them I said they're all cowards.
Well, how about we have a debate on Kurisu's channel or something?
Sure. I'll debate him. One topic at a time, no interrupting. I get half the time, and no profanity. It's fair enough, and no editing. We'll put it live on our channels. You put it live on his channel. I want him to start off with the best evidence he's got for evolution. I'll debate anybody.
Well, he may want to, since it's his channel, maybe he just wants to moderate. Maybe he would like to debate you. I would be willing to do that. So yeah, we could work out something.
Call Joseph. I'm stuck at 390. I wanted to get to 1,000 before I die. I got to hurry, or else I got to live to be 200. So please tell all those guys, if they won't debate me, they're cowards. Plain and simple. All right, let's go on to somebody else. Thank you, Pluto.
All right.
Appreciate it. But yeah, call Joseph for the debate anytime. Anybody. I'll take on any evolutionist you know of. Okay, any more there, Joseph? Okay, Joe. Kent, you're so right. He can't even answer your question. Typical, God created. It's simply, if it wasn't for God, there would be no science. Now answer the question. Yeah, I agree. Did the amoeba slowly turn to a whale? Did the rock slowly turn to an amoeba? That is what they teach. We came from a rock. Aaron Ra gets mad about that. That's what you're. I didn't make up the stupid religion. The earth was a hot ball of rock. They all say that. It cooled down, got rained on, the rain turned into soup, and the soup came alive. We came from a rock. Why don't you guys, how can you drive on the highway that's made out of your ancestors? Show some respect. What is wrong with you guys? Bob, when Jesus was on the cross, he told the thief he would see him next night in paradise. Sounds as though Jesus went to hell for 3 days. Well, that gets into the question. Read Luke 16, the rich man and Lazarus. It's not a parable. Because it gives names. There's no names in parables. The rich man and Lazarus went to the center of the earth, and there was a great gulf between them. One side was Abraham's bosom. The other side was hell. And we had fire, pain, torment. So yes, Jesus went to the center of the earth. Well, you could call that hell if you want, but it's actually the paradise side of what it used to be. And now, if they could see each other, talk to each other, read Luke 16. So I cover that many times on my channel here. So yes, Jesus told the thief on the cross, today be with me in paradise. That's Abraham's bosom. That was before the crucifixion when his blood was shed. Old Testament, their sins were covered by the blood of animals. In New Testament, our sins are cleansed by the blood of Christ. Very different. So now we go straight to heaven. Okay? Mainstreamer. Kent, did you see Professor Dave just out? Just what?
Just put out a video today.
Professor Dave put one about himself?
About you.
About me? Yeah. Why doesn't he debate me? Where I can defend myself. I offer to debate them. I do a show every Thursday and Friday night, and I ask them to call in. Do they do that on their channel? Tell them they are cowards. Mm-hmm. My daddy would say they're a lily-livered frog.
Where's the chicken?
Whatever that is. Oh yeah, here. Hey, and remember, I'm just a lowly high school science teacher with a non-accredited degree. I'm easy picking. Like Butterbean. You ever watch that guy box?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That just brought a question to my mind. Are you aware of any evolution channels that do have a call-in? I didn't know if you were Brother Joseph.
I've not seen any evolution channels that have a call-in.
Yeah, there's one called The Line, Forrest Valkai, and a couple other nutsicks are on there a lot.
Okay.
I think the atheist experience is still going, even though Dylan Hunty's gone. There's 2 or 3 big ones. Yeah. But Forrest is on Tuesday nights. We should jump on it.
Okay. I keep plenty busy, but Okay, is that it? That's it. Thank you very much. Same thing tomorrow night. Get your best evidence ready.